Fantastic. So thank you everyone for joining us today on our Student Life staff panel. Essentially, this panel is going to consist of the most frequently asked questions that we as admissions get, that we always essentially email forward or send students to talk to Student Life about to get those bigger details. If you do have questions as a student, you are able to reach out to either your admissions counselor or if these individuals are so kind, you can also look at the staff directory on the Quest page and literally get anyone's email that you could possibly ever imagine. And I'm sure they'd be happy to answer some of your questions that you might have leading up to this fall semester. But without further ado, we'll start. And the first question that we're just going to ask is who these people who have joined us for the panel are, what their role at Quest is, and how they came to end up working at Quest. And we'll start with Krista.
Thanks, James. I'm Krista, and I'm the Dean of Student Life here at Quest. I oversee student support services and work with a team of exceptional student life professionals, some of whom are here with me today. I have worked in student life at Quest since 2012, and before that, I was a teacher at the International School of Vietnam. I was attracted to Quest probably for some of the same reasons I imagine you are. It's innovative pedagogy, it's small and intimate environment, and its location in beautiful Squamish, British Columbia.
Fantastic. And Julie.
Hi, I'm Julie Miller. I'm the Director of Health and Wellness at Quest. And what brought me to Quest, I think I lived in Squamish. I live here with my family, and I've always really had a passion for youth and young adults, and so working at Quest was really a perfect fit. Someone shared the role that had opened, and it was really something that I knew would be a really great challenge and something that would be inspiring, working with students who come to Quest with such a unique blend of personalities and drive academically. So I was just really excited about the opportunity, and I've been here 6 years now.
Great. And Barbara.
Hi, everyone. My name is Barbara Fernandez, and I actually have two roles at Quest. So I'm the coordinator for new and international students. So we will likely be working very closely. And I'm also a residence coordinator, which means that I live on campus and supervise our student residence assistants as well, which we will talk a little bit about later. I actually came to Quest as a student in 2013, and so I've been here for quite some time and got to experience Quest from a student and then a staff perspective as well. So hopefully I'll be able to share a little bit more about that with you.
Great, thank you everyone. The first question is actually going to be for Krista. In your role as Dean of Students, you are probably the most versed to be able to answer this question. And so it's, what is the sort of role of Student Life at Quest, and what are some of the different services that are offered through Student Life?
Thanks, James. Student Life's mission is to create opportunities for students to learn about themselves, develop skills, and gain experience so that they can approach each day with confidence, be exceptional members of any community here at Quest or elsewhere, and to lead a fulfilling life. And to this end, we provide a wide range of services and supports to you during your time here at Quest and even after you leave, including health and wellness, recreation, residence life, accessibility services, career and experiential learning supports, new and international student services, exchange opportunities, student leadership opportunities, and more. And we look forward to serving you in these regards and having your leadership here on campus as well.
Great, thank you, Krista. The next question, which is probably one of the most asked questions that we absolutely get at all, is are there and what kind of supports are at Quest for mental and physical health? And we'll have Julie answer this question.
Great question, and I'm glad that that's a popular question because it means that people really have their priorities and making sure that they take care of both their physical and mental health. So we have lots of different support services for students. In terms of mental health, we have counselors on campus. So myself and another clinician, as well, we have several interns that work with our students. In one-on-one counseling capacity. Students can book sessions online, so it's very accessible to book it at any time, and they can find a clinician that's a good fit for them. So they can read a little bit about who that person is, if their modalities that they're going to work for students, and then they can book an appointment with that person. They can see them regularly. So and that's just simply by booking online. We also have us as a team of counselors doing different workshops and activities that are more group-based, educational sessions or support sessions. So that's offered throughout the year at Quest. And then in terms of physical health, we have a health clinic on campus. So we have physicians from the Squamish community that come regularly twice a week up onto the Quest campus and meet with our students. And they can manage anything from allergy testing to refilling prescriptions to injured legs or a concussion, STI testing. So they really can do the gamut of all different types of support for students around their physical health. They can make referrals to psychiatrists in the community, and they can also continue to see students regularly so they have that consistency in who's managing their physical health. And then we have our recreation stream. So we have the Recplex, which is where many of our recreation opportunities happen, from intramurals to yoga and meditation classes to dance, different fitness and weight training classes, all different types of activities that you would connect with fitness and physical health happen in our Recplex. And we have student employees that run some of those, and we also have a manager of recreation who facilitates that. And we really have a wide range for students, whether someone's coming and they have a lot of experience in fitness, then there's opportunities to be challenged. And also for students who have never really explored physical fitness, we have lots of opportunities for those students to get involved and really learn some of those skills. So we're supportive of students from any level that they're at. So those are kind of all of the ways that we support students in their physical and mental health.
Great, thank you, Julie. And the next question we have will be for Barbara. And it's just wondering, what are the supports that exist and that are available to our international students?
Yeah, so as international students, likely there will be certain things that you have to start thinking about from the moment you decide that you're going to be coming to Quest. And part of my role is supporting you every step of the way. So some of the examples of the services that I can support you with and that I offer would be coaching and guiding you through the study permit application process and referring you to the resources that are available both on our website, but as well on the official websites of Canada. Other logistical things that you might have to think about when you are thinking about moving to Quest are things such as what phone plan are you going to get, and where are you going to set up a bank account, and what are some groceries that I should get versus what is offered at the meal hall. So all of those things are things that we can support you with. And outside of that, a lot of my role is also focused on building an international community at Quest. And that obviously means providing spaces and opportunities for international students to meet each other and contribute to that shared experience. But it's also an opportunity for local students to engage with intercultural learning and really experiencing both local and international cultures. So we'll see events such as our intercultural gathering or guest speakers that are coming from all over the world as an opportunity to engage with multiple perspectives and multiple cultures.
Great, thank you so much, Barbara. The next question is looking at supporting learning differences and how that's done at Quest. And if Krista could answer this one.
At Quest, there are many ways that the design of the program serves students with diverse learning needs. So components that you'll be familiar with, like our small class sizes, the focus on one course at a time, close relationships with faculty members, and a really active learning environment. However, we do also understand that students who experience disabilities, mental health concerns, learning exceptionalities, or mental health concerns may still require additional accommodations to reduce barriers. This is done through accessibility services. Students can register to determine if accommodations and additional supports may be appropriate. And those types of accommodations and supports might range from things like use of assistive technology to additional time for writing tests and exams, which we don't have too many of here at Quest, as well as things like housing or meal plan accommodations. The block program is very fast-paced, so I always encourage any student considering Quest to connect with their clinicians and to discuss the various features of our program. Have a conversation with your clinician about if this is a good fit. Also, of course, any student is welcome to reach out to us or their admissions counselors with further accessibility-related questions.
Absolutely. My unmute button seems to not want to be working today. It keeps repressing itself. The next question that we have, I guess the next few questions we have all center around the idea of what it's like to live on campus and how that functions. And these, besides health and wellness, tend to be the absolute first thing that someone asks as soon as they are done with talking about academics. And so we'll start with just, does Quest have RAs? Is there a sort of residence life system or program set up? And I believe, Barbara, you said that you would like to answer this question.
Yeah, for sure. So as I was mentioning in my introduction, I'm a residence coordinator, and I work closely with our residence assistants. And so the role of our RAs is to build community and support students on their floor, as well as be an on-call service 24/7 for any students who might be struggling with different challenges. And some of the ways in which they build community can be floor events, so they could host a spaghetti night or a movie night or a self-care night. So there's many different ways that, depending on who's on your floor and what their interests are and who your RA is, you can get together and sort of build your home around your communal spaces and really make that floor for that year your own space. So that's part of what the RAs do. And then from being on call, and I think that is also in support of some of the health and wellness services that we offer, our RAs will go through training, and there are students that are selected through a process and endorsed by the student body. So it's something you can look forward to doing as well, if that's a way in which you want to engage in leadership. But RAs will receive training on how to best support students while being on call, and that will range from, you know, a student might be struggling adjusting to Quest, and as Krista mentioned, the fast-paced nature of the block, and so they can just get some peer tips, or whether it be you're feeling really homesick and you want to connect to one of our counselors, just figuring out how do you navigate our website, how do you register, where do you go exactly, especially in the first few weeks and months at Quest that you're still kind of having to process all that information that we're throwing at you. Luckily, these leaders are here, and they've been here, and they've gotten training to be able to support you. So I think that's another really special way in which we want to build that close community and be able to support students one-on-one.
Great, thank you, Barbara. And I believe you also wanted to touch on sort of what it is like to live on campus as well, sort of what is the culture, the environment, the sort of community like as well.
Yeah, so because I was a student at Quest and now a residence coordinator, I have a wide range of perspectives on what it is like to be on the Quest campus. And I think one of many of my most special memories at Quest come from living in residence and then being in a block with somebody and being able to just kind of walk across the hall and ask them a question or work through a problem with them or be in a group project. So really seeing those, the academic environment transferring into your life in residence and having extremely engaging conversations with peers who are studying things radically different from what I was studying, and always bringing back that academic component into my just personal, living in residence life. And then I think another really special component was my floor events and the floor community that I built. So really feeling like I had a second family here on campus, or a really strong support network on campus with folks that I could count on, regardless of whether I knew them or not. So I have such kind memories of, I need to borrow a raincoat, and then someone's like, oh yeah, just like go into my room, third floor, OSA, and grab it. And I'm like, I don't know you. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. Like, just such a trustworthy, caring community that I think a lot of our students enjoyed, and I was able to benefit from it myself.
That's great. And Krista, you had also wanted to touch on this topic as well.
Yeah, I think Barbara gave some great examples there of both the joys and challenges of a fully residential program. As well, living on campus so closely in a residential community can have its stressors. It can, of course, also be a great asset. So Barbara mentioned group work, collaboration, and social supports that are just made easier by the fact that your classmates and even some staff and faculty live close by. There are always many things to do on campus, from club and group activities to academic talks, probably too many things. You might find yourself having to carefully manage your schedule with all the different social, academic opportunities that are here. But of course, we also encourage students to get off campus and get involved in the Squamish community. It can be easy when you have your social network here on campus and lots of amenities and resources to stay put, but we really encourage students to volunteer and to get out and participate in our community. I think you'll find our community is very collectively accountable. So we operate on principles of community living guidelines. These are not a long list of rules and mandates, but rather more principles by which we guide our living and learning on campus. And we rely a lot on students communicating with one another about their needs to uphold those high standards for our campus community. And so it is very collective. We're building our campus community together, and how you show up on campus will really contribute to that.
Great, thank you. This next question is also actually going to be directed to you, Krista. And this is, if you could just speak on sort of internship opportunities, co-ops, a little bit more about that outreach into the rest of Squamish as well, or communities beyond campus, and sort of what services there are to support this and opportunities that come with that as well.
Great. As students might know, every student must complete a 4-credit experiential learning in order to graduate. So this is sort of like a self-directed co-op experience. And your faculty advisors and our student life staff will help you find and choose an experiential learning opportunity that aligns with your interests and your skills. Most experiential learning opportunities will take place during one block, so 1 month, while other students choose to spread that opportunity over a longer period of time. So for example, having an ongoing volunteer opportunity while also studying full-time. And generally, we provide support to students in career development and experiential learning. So in addition to one-to-one advising, workshops, and online resources, we also host opportunities like job and experiential learning fairs on campus, as well as guest speakers, for example. So there are lots of supports in this area of career development, experiential learning, and students who are looking for employment or other opportunities off campus.
Great, thank you so much, Krista. That is the last sort of big question that we typically have. And what I'd like to sort of end our panel discussion today with is just a general question that everyone can touch on, and just, is there anything else or any advice that you would want to give students before they arrive on campus this fall? And we'll start with Julie.
I think the biggest advice that I've found really helpful for students is taking advantage of all of these learning moments and absorbing what you can. We have pre-arrival counseling, and I think students who take advantage of that, they can contact myself by email and we can set something up. If for those who are managing physical or mental health challenges and they want to be able to have an idea and plan what that might look like when they're at Quest, to reach out to a pre-arrival counseling session is by phone or online, and it allows us to put your mind at ease, make referrals where we need. So when you arrive, that's not a stressor that you have, and you can really immerse yourself in all of the amazing opportunities that happen during orientation without sort of that voice in your head of, but I need to plan this and I need to get this sorted. So if there's accommodation, things that you want to sort out, reach out and set those things up and have an idea of what services are there to support your journey at Quest. Because if you have all of that set up before you even come and you have that confidence, it'll allow you to just really enjoy that first block at Quest, build those relationships, create your community without worrying that those things haven't been set up yet. So I think just planning ahead can be really helpful, and it can allow students to relax when they arrive and just really enjoy their experience.
Great. And Barbara?
I think one piece of advice that I didn't follow myself before I got to Quest, and I, in hindsight, wish that I had, is to kind of all the information that I was getting from Quest. I was like, I'm in high school right now. Like, I'm with my friends. This is not where my focus should be. And so I tended to like take a look, but not really take it in or not dive deeper into the information that I was receiving. And I found that when I got to Quest, as Julie was mentioning, then I had all these things to learn about and figure out, and I didn't have enough time to process them, understand them, and realize what I wanted to even benefit from, right? Like, what clubs am I interested in? What groups? What activities do I want to get involved with? And so I really wish that I had taken more advantage of the month before Quest and really taking a look at all of the resources and the communication that was sent to me and started to reflect and ask questions. So that would be something that I would recommend.
Great, thank you. And Krista, if there's anything else that you'd like to add.
I have two key pieces of advice. One would be that if you are in a family environment or living with parents and they're supporting you in this journey, to have some conversation in advance with them about what their expectations and your expectations are for communicating with each other during this transition to a new type of independent living. Here at Quest, you are adults and you are our client. So actually by law, we can't communicate with a parent or a third party or someone who reaches out to try to communicate with us. Certainly we can take information from them, but we can't provide any back. So it'll be really important for you and your parents to talk about things like, do they have an expectation for how often you'll be communicating with them? Do they have an expectation for you providing them information about your academics or your finances at Quest? So have a little bit of discussion about that in advance so that when issues do arise, you'll already have a plan for how you're going to navigate those together with family or parents or benefactors. My second piece of advice is ask for help. It's very, very normal when transitioning to post-secondary education that you experience some hiccups, whether those be academically, personally, socially. And since we don't know you that well yet, it won't necessarily be easy for us to see if that's normal or if you're going through an extraordinarily difficult time. So please reach out. Great thing about the Quest community, it's very small and people are very supportive. So Barbara already mentioned things like your RAs and your peers. You have your faculty mentor and advisor. You have members of the student life team. You need only to reach out to land upon a myriad of people who will be willing to help you navigate through any challenge that you're facing. And it's normal. People do need to reach out for help in their transition to university. So that would be my second piece of advice for all students.
Fantastic, thank you. And thank you to all of you for joining us today on the Student Life panel for our admitted students. I know they will greatly appreciate all of the questions being answered, and the admissions team is also very thankful for your time in helping with us. So that is the end of the panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, James.